Hi, I'm Jake from my channel, Ashley Jake here, and we have a new series, the first episode of Comics Off My Wall. As I've been doing my commentaries, you've seen that I've been growing my comic collection. It's more of an investment. I see them on eBay, and I see them in bulk, and some of them are Superman, some of them are Spider-Man, and it's all stuff I haven't read. I didn't grow up with comics. I grew up with Archie, and we'll talk about Archie some other time. But what I did grab off the wall, that I'm just going to go through it. I mean, there's so many comics that it's easy to just look at a whole series, look up that series, and get a summation for all that series. But the fact is, each one has its own individual stories. And so I took the time, and I took Roger Rabbit, ToonTown, off my wall. The reason I picked this one up, I was up at a thrift store, and honestly, it was just the name. I mean, I bought it by the name, Roger Rabbit, and took it home. I've read it, and I just want to give you a brief idea of what Roger Rabbit ToonTown number 4 is all about. So the very first story, what's cool about the cover is it lays out the 3 stories that it's going to go through. I don't know if it does it for each individual one. I have a few other ones, but we're just going to focus on this one. If you see here, this is the first one, and what Roger Rabbit is doing is at the Pentagon, shows like a picture, and it goes to the people inside the Pentagon, and they're watching like a how-to video, and this is a video of how not to shoot a cannon. So it's kind of fun. I mean, if you've watched Roger Rabbit, you have the voice in your head. You know what Roger Rabbit sounds like, so you just kind of apply that. It's very light, it's not heavy, and it's a fun little comic. Like, you know how the taxi had eyes and the taxi could talk? Well, the cannon has eyes and the cannon can talk. So there's obviously a separation of the military equipment that's being used in ToonTown and the military equipment that they're using in the real world, which is, it's cool that they kind of acknowledge that. And that's really, at the end of it, they definitely show how not to fire a cannon. And the last little joke that's kind of funny is they ask what the next one is, and it's a briefing on the atomic bomb by Roger Rabbit. So obviously that's not going to be good. And that kind of wraps that one up. And then what's kind of cool about this little Herman one is little Herman was the baby that could talk. He was really gruff. He had like the cigar. He had a filthy mouth. And but he always played the baby. As soon as the camera's rolling, he's goo goo gaga and looking all cute for the camera. Everybody's seen the movie. If you haven't, go watch Roger Rabbit, please. But what happens is Herman's been in the movies for so long that people are starting to notice that he's a little more adult than an actual baby. So to kind of get his chops up, he goes and he breaks into an orphanage where all the babies are being extremely abused. And, well, not really abused. I mean, they're just being gruff with the babies. They're in ToonTown. Like, the nurse here is a big bull, and that's like his bath time. It's just get the baby clean, get the baby out of there. It's ToonTown, so it's not really abusive. But what's cool is it's what Herman needs. Herman's gotten a little full of himself, and because these babies can out-baby him, he ends up getting food all over him. He ends up getting bullied by the other babies until he really kind of steps up in his baby Herman ways and breaks out of the orphanage and meets up with Roger Rabbit. Right, and it's cool too because the story runs into the last story where it says introducing Jessica's arch enemy, Winnie Weasel. As they have you can see here before they've shown that the third story has begun, they've already shown Herman meeting up with Roger Rabbit and Jessica Rabbit, and now Jessica Rabbit kind of takes over the story. And what they kind of did was brought in a new character, obviously introducing Winnie Weasel, and what she is she was the other beautiful Toon. She's obviously big-bosomed like Jessica Rabbit has the same figure, but in her excuse she says that Hollywood prefers the redhead over the blonde, and they're obviously not the best of friends, but she gets a note from Winnie Weasel that she's opened up a hair salon, and to kind of bury the hatchet, she would like to give her a free makeover. So Jessica Rabbit shows up, and everything that the Winnie Weasel has set up to kind of like, she's turned the hairdresser all the way up to like bald, and puts her in there, but her hair is so strong, obviously, that she came out looking perfect. And her not understanding, she sticks her head in there. And it's actually kind of a running gag that does get a chuckle every time. She gets her head stuck in there about 5 or 6 times. And it's really well drawn. It's not as adult as the movie. And either way, the movie is supposed to be for kids. The movie's kind of supposed to be for everybody. And that's definitely what this is. Nobody's being alienated by this. I do just want to show one panel from one other comic that's in the same series. I was kind of flipping through it. I don't want to go through the story. I think I'm kind of covering Roger Rabbit okay here, but I just want to show, I really like this panel. I think it shows that this writer, right on this one, or not the writer, but the artist, he's very cool. He's got a lot of detail in there. I've been to Disneyland, and that's immediately what I think of. I think of like Pirates of the Caribbean. I think about any like sea place I've ever been, and that's what is very outstanding about this comic. Is he really captures Jessica Rabbit, captures Roger Rabbit. It's a very fun series. If you enjoyed the movie, you're going to enjoy this because you're going to get to know the characters, and there's going to be new friends and new stories to experience. I've got like 3 or 4 more of these, but that's just what I wanted to do for now. This is the first of this episode. I like it because it allows me to start looking through the comics that this is where they've been. They've been in their plastic. They've been hanging out nice and protected. But I've looked through. I don't have anything that's worth thousands of dollars, so there's no reason to not just share. And this is my way of sharing. So I will continue to read, and I will continue my little comic book reports for you guys. And this has been Comics Off the Wall by Jake for my channel Ashley Jake. Please like and subscribe. More than that, you see one you want to hear about, comment, and that's the one that I will work on next. So thank you so much, and have a great day.